The Miami Heat have been searching for a way to retool around Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro since Jimmy Butler's exit. Now comes a trade pitch that looks risky, but one that could reshape their future. In the proposal, floated by Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley, Miami would send Andrew Wiggins, Kel'el Ware, and a 2029 first-round pick, top 3 protected, to the New Orleans Pelicans. Coming back, Trey Murphy III, Jordan Hawkins, and Yves Missi. At first glance, Heat fans might shake their heads. This is the same front office that wasn't willing to move Ware in a deal for Kevin Durant. So, why would they now part with him in a package that doesn't even bring back an all-star? Still, the pitch isn't about chasing a Finnish superstar. It's about betting on Murphy's rise, and whether his two-way skill set is enough to raise Miami's long-term ceiling. Why the Heat might consider it. Start with Murphy. He's no throw-in. At 24, he averaged 21 points per game last season and continues trending upward. At 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, he checks every box for a modern two-way wing. Slide him between Herro and Adebayo, and you can see why some believe he'll make his first All-Star team soon. Add in the recently acquired Norman Powell, and a starting five of Herro, Powell, Murphy, Nikola Jovic, and Adebayo has balance, spacing, and switchability. For a team that just watched the Pacers win the East without a superstar, and with Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum sidelined all season, Miami could convince itself this is the moment to gamble on upside. The extras matter too. Hawkins brings shooting in the Duncan Robinson role. Missi adds rim protection. Miami would not lose its defensive edge by trading Ware. Instead, the rotation might actually look deeper. Why the Pelicans could say yes. For New Orleans, this is about flexibility. Where is the prize? A 7-footer with shot-blocking instincts and the potential to stretch the floor, he could pair with Zion Williamson to solve long-term front-court spacing issues. The 2029 first-rounder is another chip, a future asset that could be flipped. And then there's Wiggins. At 29, he isn't the centerpiece, but he's a proven two-way player who helped Golden State win a championship. He fits a rotation if the Pelicans stay competitive. If they pivot, he's movable. That versatility carries value. The Trey Murphy question. Here's the sticking point. Murphy's stock is still climbing. His length, athleticism, and three-point shooting make him one of the league's most promising young wings. If he keeps improving, he could be viewed the way Jaylen Brown was a few years ago, a top 20 player trending even higher. That makes moving him risky. The Pelicans might see Murphy as untouchable. With Zion finally healthy, pairing those two is the kind of 1-2 punch most front offices dream of. Breaking that up isn't something New Orleans would do lightly. What's next for Heat and Pelicans? For the Heat, this is the type of scenario that tests patience. Do they hold on to their best young piece in Ware and keep waiting for a star trade, or do they bet on Murphy turning into that star himself? Miami has lived in the middle ground for years. Good enough to compete, not good enough to dominate. A deal like this could push them firmly in one direction. For the Pelicans, the question is about timeline. With Zion healthy, the window to win is now. Trading Murphy could bring depth and flexibility, but it might also mean giving up the very player who could help lift them into contention. Both front offices have to ask, is this about maximizing the present or protecting the future? The answer to that question may decide whether an idea like this ever leaves the page. If the Miami Heat are going to accomplish anything of substance this season in the Eastern Conference, they're going to have to find a way to survive the first month, at least, of the season without their all-star guard Tyler Herro. In his eyes, there's one player who will be one of the primary players helping on that front, Nikola Jovic. When Herro was asked which player would step up most in his absence to start the season, he quickly mentioned Jovic. He also added that he believes Jovic is going to have a tremendous season. To be perfectly honest, this is not surprising at all. Especially after the momentum he's built for himself over the summer, there's a strong reason to believe that Jovic is in line for a breakout year. It also doesn't hurt that he could be playing for a new contract this year if he and the Heat aren't able to come to an agreement before the October 20th deadline. Nevertheless, no matter what happens on that front, it's become pretty clear. Much is expected from Jovic this season. Nikola Jovic's hype is at an all-time high. Coming off a strong showing for Team Serbia in the Eurobasket tournament, Jovic is expected to take a big step forward this year for the Heat. He'll certainly be in the conversation to be named the starter next to Bam Adebayo, but he'll have to earn it with a strong showing in training camp. But even if Jovic doesn't earn the starting role next to Bam, he should be one of the primary weapons for the Heat off the bench. And with Herro out of the lineup, with Norman Powell all but certainly being thrust into his spot in the starting five, Jovic will likely be leading the second unit. Specifically from an offensive standpoint, Jovic will be asked to fuel the second unit. With his firepower and skill set, it wouldn't be surprising if he emerged as one of the team's high-scoring players with Herro out. The Heat will surely need it. There's a path toward the Heat being better than expected this season, and it likely revolves around Jovic making that next jump in his development as a young player. With all these expectations, the onus will now fall on Jovic to prove himself. One of the hardest things to do in the NBA, especially for young players, is to make that final step to stardom. That's the challenge Jovic will have this season. Make no mistake, it does seem like everyone on the Heat believes he can do it. The Los Angeles Lakers may not be finished with their search for reinforcements this offseason. After locking up Luka Doncic for 4 more years with a $165 million extension, the franchise is reportedly eyeing Miami Heat forward Andrew Wiggins if the forward is placed on the market, according to insider Mark Stein. Luka Doncic gives security to the Lakers' future. The Lakers' biggest move so far was securing Doncic through at least 2027 to 28, with a player option for 2028 to 29. This stability has paved the way for the front office to consider new signings without fear of compromising the future. Additionally, the team has already brought in Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and DeAndre Ayton this offseason, but the search for a two-way wing remains on the agenda. Why is Andrew Wiggins interesting to Los Angeles? Wiggins, a 2022 champion with the Golden State Warriors, has a history of contributing to high-level teams. His current contract includes a $30.2 million player option for next season. With Doncic renewed, the Lakers are less concerned about absorbing long contracts and want to invest in players who will immediately elevate the roster. Trade scenarios. What might the Heat want? The Miami Heat, currently in a period of transition following the departure of Jimmy Butler, may be seeking salary flexibility. In this scenario, a trade for Wiggins would be a way to lighten the payroll. According to Stein, some possibilities would be package with expiring contracts, Maxi Kleber and Gabe Vincent, formerly of the Heat, along with rookie Dalton Knecht. This option would give Miami financial breathing room starting next season. Trade involving Rui Hachimura. The Japanese player has an expiring $18 million contract and could be included alongside Kleber or Vincent. This would free up over $29 million for the Heat's coffers next summer. Austin Reeves is off the table. The young point guard is an untouchable piece for the Lakers, who are not considering involving him in negotiations. Impact for Lakers and Heat. For the Miami Heat, Wiggins' departure would open up room for restructuring, whether with short-term reinforcements or financial flexibility. The Lakers, on the other hand, could gain a versatile wing to play alongside Doncic and LeBron, boosting their chances of competing for the title. Change of attitude in Los Angeles. For years, the Lakers avoided committing to the future with long contracts or trading picks, something that irked LeBron James. Now, with Doncic locked up, the team feels more comfortable taking risks to maximize its current talent. Andrew Wiggins, in this scenario, could be exactly the missing piece to transform the Angelino team into an even more dangerous contender in the NBA.